can't believe I ate that whole thing.
You ate it, Ralph.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
No, Ralph, I'll eat it.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Now you're local on the 8s.
Oh, hey! Yeah. Bad, baby, bad!
Channel 8 at 5:30.
Check it out, man. The question you gotta ask yourself is how badly do you want to see the greatest fucking rock and roll show on the fucking earth, right? You're talking about Samuel Johnson in the audience. You're talking about up in Detroit, Rock City, brother.
Oh, what I'm gonna do to you. I'm so angry.
We apologize for the profanity, which he also said on our air.
Bunch of guys who make bad music, dress like freaks, and wear more makeup than all my sisters combined? No. These assholes gotta be stopped.
Now starts the IA Music Podcast.
Are we back on? Let's go.
Working with him, you know what I mean?
We have a little project. Shit.
Yeah, there's some cool shit, man. There's some, it's something different too. We have, go crazy. Where's that folder at, Trans?
Huh?
Where's that folder at of some of the new product, the new records we got?
Somewhere in my folders, dude. I could go in there.
Yeah, go for it.
So this is your spot, Transformer. This is where this is where all goes down right here. This is where you take it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where you make the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Does the artists come out here too and shit, or it's just you just go to them? Do you go to them, or
do
the artists come to you, or do you go to them?
Either. Sometimes I go over there. Sometimes they come here and shit. You know, vice versa and shit. You know. Yeah. Pretty much.
I was gonna ask. So how's it been like fucking like networking out here in SD? Like networking with like other heads and.
It's cool, man. Just trying to get just different fucking artists, fucking to work with and shit. Just the people that I've heard, from being in El Centro, like the artists that I've done with in San Diego. I've pretty much heard about them for a while before I even moved to San Diego and shit. So now that I'm here, it's pretty cool. Like I was actually able to reach out to them and have them in my my fucking little studio and fucking have them recording some verses and shit like that. But. Yeah, a lot of people I connected out here with, I already had them in mind, or I've been hearing their music since
back in the day.
Since back in the day.
So once you came out here, just like, I'm gonna fucking contact them and just
pretty much, pretty much it's been like that and shit. So just trying to connect with all the SD heavy hitters and shit like that, and just been doing that shit, man. And
are there some heavy hitters out here?
Yeah, dope. I mean, dope people like fucking Joe Haas is from here, from fucking. Dag Savage, which is Joe Haas in Exile. You got Choosy, which is also on fucking Dirty Science and shit. So, that's another crew that's blowing up with Exile and Blue and all those dudes. So
they're from SD?
Yeah, well, Choosy's from San Diego.
Okay.
And Joe Haas is from San Diego too, and they're both on the fucking Dirty Science camp. So, yeah, they're doing it pretty big. Like they've been on like a little tour and shit, and doing the little, their gigs and shit. So yeah, it's them, and then there's multiple people. There's Mr. Brady, who's done like a lot of production for fucking Guilty Simpson and MED and people on Stone's Throw and shit like that. So
yeah, what you been up to since the last interview, man? Huh? What you been up to since the last interview, like 2016? What you been up to?
Just fucking same shit, man. Just working on fucking music and just dropping beat tapes. I don't know what happened last time, but I forgot. I don't know if it started last time when I met you or when I was fucking in that the interview with you. But yeah, I had a distribution deal. Did I have a distribution deal last time I went over there and shit? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I think Soul Spasm had dropped the album for me and shit like that, but now they gave me my own distribution deal. So now I'm like, whatever I want to put out, I just fucking send it out, to my people, and they just put it up on iTunes and all those fucking other platforms and shit, digital platforms.
Right.
So, yeah, now I don't got to go through anyone, bro. I just fucking shoot my shit to, you know, one of the dudes at the fucking label, and he just puts it on iTunes and shit like that.
What label is that?
Soul Spasm.
Soul Spasm, alright.
Yeah, so that's
still working with Soul Spasm.
Soul Spasm. Yeah, I'm working with Soul Spasm, but you know, since it's like they gave me a distribution deal, I kind of just I ran with my old name, which was Dirty Dome, so I just call it Dirty Dome Records. And so that's pretty much what pops up on the iTunes or whatever, when you look up, that's the copyright fucking name and shit, So they gave me my little thing so it could, it could look legit on iTunes.
Right, I mean, it's a business, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so pretty much, we've been on that type of shit, just fucking networking with different artists outside of San Diego too. And then,
nice. Recently signed to the new label too, right?
Oh yeah, 5-7 Music, man. That's the homie J57, which just started. He just started a collective. It's like a group of people, a group of artists. It's like myself, Blame One, fucking who else is there? Fucking Kataya. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, it's spelled Kai.
Katiah or some shit. Or, I don't know, something. I don't know. Kiata. I don't know, something.
He's pretty dope, though.
But he's dope, man. He's dope.
We got him on a record that we just recently did.
Yeah.
Blame One is from here, locally too, right?
Yeah, Oceanside.
Oceanside, right?
Like that.
Yeah, I've seen some bars. Let's have
I think he's an Oceanside or Vista, one of those.
Yeah.
Shit like that, but one of those, dude. But yeah, he's on there.
Homie Los lives out in Vista. You talked to him
Los too, right?
Los,
yeah. He's out here too.
Vista.
Alright.
Yeah, he lives out in Vista.
Still got gray area here too, right? Gray area?
Man.
Yeah.
What's up?
Right, it's working.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah. It's been a while. How you been, Rudy, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know me.
Just let everybody know,
I've been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the growth process out here living in San Diego. We're from the same town, so
straight up from the valley. Well, all three of us from the same valley. Yeah. That's why I really wanted to
all go to the same school, so we're pretty familiar with one another.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, man, it's good to see you.
Cheers
to that, bro.
Fuck yeah, cheers.
Cheers to that, man.
Fuck yeah.
That's it's good to see you.
Valley Ties, man. Valley Ties. I was like, I want to link up with with you guys. That's why I sent that message. You know what I mean? I know you guys be busy all the time.
Yeah. Where'd you come from, by the way?
From today?
Yeah.
I was working around at the house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you said you were doing some freelance work. Huh?
Yeah, doing freelance work. But fucking, I want to link up with you guys. Just to fucking catch up. You know what I mean? With the music, see what you guys been up to. See what you guys are doing. From the valley. And I'm gonna do this podcast for the valley, I guess you could say. Out here too.
You know what's crazy is I've been. So it's been a while. I mean, some of the background of the music, anyhow, of who have I dealt with, who I had the opportunity to learn from and work with in the past. You see my style evolve a lot too. It's kind of interesting that to
following, I've been following.
Kind of reminisce on that because you really have seen that, which is interesting because of our relationship through Mark and and all that. So that's pretty cool. The energy for wanting to keep writing and recording again finally came about like a year and a half ago when I linked up with this cat. And our first record was which record did we do? We did that Comes a Time in a Man's Life, Gotta Do or Die, Get Them All God.
Life is that one?
It was such a nasty record. The energy was just there. We had Julio here. You remember Julio?
Yeah.
We were all sitting around smoking. He throws on that beat and I wanted to write again. So I've just been labbing almost consistently because I'll be here at least once, twice a week. Just recently, right now, I took some time in just to spend like 4 or 5 days with them and live and get some inspiration and record some more stuff. Because I've never dropped a solo project before.
Just singles, right?
Yeah.
Just like, verses? Or even just verses? Yeah.
I mean, you very rarely have you heard maybe a track by me. And if you did, they were seldom like I had, productions with Petey Blink, correct me if I'm wrong, or he used to go by Pete Blinko, I believe, something like that. Shout out to obviously Ill to the Core, you remember them,
right?
Avengers, Third Block, those different groups or whatnot. But now coming back with him, the creative process is most definitely there, and we're dropping a Raw Odyssey. Are you familiar with any of those tracks?
Raw Odyssey from Transformers.
I don't think anyone's heard shit from
that
shit.
No. We haven't leaked anything really, huh? No. We've kept everything low. So we have a Raw Odyssey dropping finally where him and I just took the time to collab with one another more.
Has that been building for a while?
I think so.
Yeah, we've been fucking making music for a while now, man. Yeah. But more rapping. Well, we've been rapping together for the past probably 2 years now, maybe.
Almost close to 2 years, yeah.
1.5, maybe 2 years. Rapping together and shit. He's been on a few. He's always been he's always been featured like on the projects that I put out. Like
almost in anything.
Like rapping wise, you know, like
Right.
he's been like featured on a lot of those projects and shit like that. So
a lot of sparring sessions.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It gave me all that practice I needed to be featured on a lot of this man's projects.
Right.
And it's cool though, you know. So it's pretty dope, you know. I've had him on a lot of features and shit like that. So I was like, you know, fuck it, like might as well just go ahead and do a project with him and shit, you know. He's already like a familiar feature within, you know.
Yeah, I've been rocking with the whole Third Eye, you know, and the Dirty Dome records that he's got coming out now that he's in a good position to do. You know, you're familiar with the Soul Spasm. You know, he's
Right.
talked about that. His new 57, almost like I feel like he's really reaching out in a way to trance. You know, he's kind of giving him that, dropping him little jewels here and there. You know, the bricks, laying the yellow brick road for him. You know, guide him in any way that he can. You know.
I feel like you need that in the industry, right?
Yeah, you definitely need that type of unity, man, because it's difficult. It's difficult to really get. Well, for one, as an art, someone who's striving to become an artist is. It's a lifestyle, and what I mean by that is that you really got to put in that time. Thank you. You really got to put in that time to, and it's gonna sound really cheesy, but it's true, to perfect your craft. You know, you really have to, because the aside from the unity, right now, and I'm sure I just heard this recently, but I heard somebody say something along the lines that now we're in that stage and age in the culture where it's about the attention, hey, look at me factor. It's not about the skill.
It's just flat. 15 seconds.
Yeah,
you know, like,
but they're lasting, because
right.
that wave we thought was going to run out, and it's still hitting right now.
Right.
You know, we continue to see these artists kind of taking it in a new direction and evolving that style. So hip-hop, without a doubt, from a fan perspective, firstly, and from just somebody who loves to write that artistic kind of embodiment of trying to perfect it, hip-hop has most definitely evolved, and we're not going back.
Right.
So it's hard to catch a lane now, which also leads to support. You know, I mean, first of all, it's already hard enough to get somebody to even say hello to you in the morning when you're going to the store and trying to open up the door for you. You feel me?
With social media and everything, right? With everything online. And
Yeah. I mean, and we all fall factor to, I don't want to say victim, but it's most definitely a factor for everyone in your own personal growth, whatever that you're doing. So in this case, we're dealing with music, and it's already a cutthroat mentality in the industry, and we haven't even had a foot in the door. And quite frankly, I'm learning off his steps. You know, the connections he's already made, and the patience that it's taken for him to continue to evolve as an artist. Because we know him as a producer. I know him as a producer.
Straight up.
You know, just until recently, I've been able to really, I guess, get an idea of what's going on in his head as an artist.
Right.
Because he's talented. I mean, he's going from kind of that punk rock, you know, whole different way of listening to music.
Right.
You know, on a contrast spectrum, it's two different things. So hearing his hip hop and just continuing to evolve, and he's got, I mean, I feel like he's got an idea of every style, really.
Right.
I mean, maybe he might be.
With his influence.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
background
It's
and
the
his
influences,
influence.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Growing up, being from the valley is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know that, and talking about that, being from the valley is very different. It's, you know, I know San Diego's not very far, but I feel like our city, our town, our mentality there, the way of life is almost truly its own lifestyle, because once you kind of stray off and start traveling a little bit, you kind of realize on a lot of things that you were looking from an outside perspective, because our town was so small.
What's real?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you know?
What's really, you know?
yeah.
That's
what's
what
real?
that's what I see. I mean,
That's the
being
best
out here.
word. Is
Yeah.
what's real. And you know, now that we're grown men, you know, we're all dealing with different obstacles, you know, trials and tribulations and experiences, and it's to kind of see it still. I don't know if you noticed, but you run into people at very random times, and those people, for some reason, they're connected to you somehow, and they kind of remind you of that growth of yourself when you used to hang out with this person or be in that circle, you know. And I feel that had a factor to do a lot with our music too. The circles kept changing, the people around you kept changing, the air of influence kept changing. I'm not the same guy I was 5 years ago, so if you hear my material now, You know, it's not the same as it was back in, you know, we'll say I'll be bold enough and even say 2003, 04, because that's really when I met you, with
Right.
maybe Rudy and Mark.
Sure.
So the man has changed, and so has the concepts, the evolution of that content, and I think that's something that we're gonna be able to do on Raw Odyssey.
The Avengers. Dro. 1, 2. Gotham City Knights. K Charisma. Let us live forever. T.O.B. Ain't much to it when you need me, you don't dial a nigga. All in the hand, use my left to rock my whip. And you had a split, never understood your deal. At the time it made sense, live at your expense. How the world gon' feel me if I never left? Excuse my attitude, pending, but it's right to vent. I'm 26, sitting on a dream I've spent. Countless years at it, so I should've been a chef. Biggest fears falling slowly in my father's steps. I love the man, but don't believe a word he says. I know this overanalyzed, for heaven's sakes. If I die, hope I left you for heaven's take. Left it up behind, cause niggas swore I wasn't trying. Haven't always been this real that I ain't denying. But the man before, mentally he had to go. You can't fathom the idea what I haven't done.
I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth in the booth to the hand when there ain't nothing else to do. Just keep handling mine, keep handling mine, keep handling mine, just keep handling life. I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth in the booth to the hand when there ain't nothing else to do. Just keep handling mine, keep handling mine, keep handling mine, just keep handling life. Young soul with a heart of gold, east of the blocks. A mama's boy, eager to play on the criminal black top. Influential, they were a generous lot. They said it was okay, you came to the right spot. Smoking trees by the crop. Moms couldn't keep me away from all the bullshit that murdered my pops. Or at least the man he used to be. I was tired of life abusing me, so I cursed the heavens and started doing me. All them cold nights never forget. Bad choices were made, far too many to regret. Scavenging through the fire just to see what was left. Threw everything in the back of the van for a while, that was our address. Parking lot dreams of Motel 6. Pills and weed, learned life was a bitch. I promised myself I'd get my sister out this bitch when I picked up the pen, and then I started to spit. I forgave him cause the man I became, I owe it to him. I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth in the booth to the hand when there ain't nothing else to do. Just keep handling mine, keep handling mine, keep handling mine, just keep handling life. I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth in the booth to the hand when there ain't nothing else to do. Just keep handling mine, keep handling mine, keep handling mine, just keep handling life. So this is where I'm at, my perspective changed, my point of view ain't the same, my destination arranged. Regardless of how, I'm still alive, live in the process, vibing the costs. Quality time when my child is lost, lost in the booth working. So it's something you gotta give up to make everything worth it. Killing 2 bottles a session, my crew is aggressive. Let you capture the message, that'll teach you a lesson.
Yellow tape ending, play my mama, never face it. I'll shake a nigga hand, that's an open invitation. I seen it in your face and my successes, why you waking? And I ain't even hit $1 more than what you making. If this is what it comes to, I gotta hold the gun to make it out that scuffle, cause a nigga feel in trouble. Pass me off a bluff, pretend that we ain't stuck in the same damn hole in the city that we from.
I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth in the booth to the hand when there ain't nothing else to do. Just keep handling mine, keep handling mine, keep handling mine, just keep handling life. I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth in the booth to the hand when there ain't nothing else to do. Just keep handling mine, keep handling mine, keep handling mine, just keep handling life. Yeah.
I think we gave it a fair shot as a dual project, and by far I think it's maybe one of our most consistent with concepts, exploring different depths of what we want to talk about.
Okay.
You know,
as far as the music wise, still keeping that same rhythm. You still going the same, or you just throwing different.
You know, the project's called Raw Odyssey. That was the name of it. You know, just kind of got the name off of fucking. It's just, you know, like, you know, fucking space. What's that shit called? Space Odyssey, or what is it? Like, you know, it's on some, like, you know, it's on some spacey fucking, like, it's a spacey fucking journey into, like, you know, it's a spacey odyssey, you know, which meaning, like, what? It's like some kind of journey into fucking, you know, I looked it up, dude, but basically,
What inspired the
Odyssey
name? Was
is
it
like a
just
what? It's like a journey or some shit,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I call it Raw Odyssey, which means like a raw journey, you know, into some spacey shit, you know. And I know they use that name, and what was that?
I think it's one of our more abstract.
Yeah, it's a very
attempts,
abstract
too.
project, you know.
There's no way it flows good.
Basically, it just means, you know, raw space fucking journey, raw spacey journey into some, you know, some gutter shit, you know. And the beats are pretty much off a beat tape I just dropped recently on 5-7 Music, you know.
Play my record.
Hold on.
Alexa.
What's it called? We're dropping this shit on 5-7 Music.
Yeah.
And well, I'm not sure yet. I mean, it's in the talks right now with my homie, you know.
The politics of it,
I mean,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. It probably is, you know. I talked to him about it. He told me to send it, so it probably is, you know. But it's just because it makes sense because we did I had dropped the beat tape on 5-7 Music not too long ago. It was like a 19 track, you know, beat tape or some shit, 20 track beat tape that I dropped on his little label and shit. My little label and both of our fucking little labels. Well, his dope big label, but you know, whatever, man. Like we dropped it.
Expanding, dude.
You know,
I salute him for that.
We just dropped, you know.
Shout out to 572, man. That's crazy.
Pretty much just dropped that beat tape on there, and you know, just pretty much thinking like, all right, well, it'd be dope to just, you know, well, actually, it was his idea, you know, because first he had done like 2 songs off the beat tape. He's like, yo, it'd be dope to just promote, you know, your beat tape by me just spitting some bars and then, you know, like 2 tracks, and then we'll be like, yo, like, you know, pretty much it just beats off, you know, Tranzformer's new beat tape, you know. So it's pretty much just like once people hear the track and then they know that it's kind of just promoting the beat tape, so that way people are like, oh, that's a sick beat, and then, well, shit, you could also get the beat tape over here, you know, like
right.
Which has that beat or whatever like that. So yeah, that's he kind of started that idea, and then I was like, you know, dude, what if, you know, me and Gray Air just did a whole project just using those, you know, beats off that project, you know, off that beat tape, you know, just to help promote the beat tape as well, you know.
What made you pick Gray Air? Like why Gray Air?
Oh, he's always here with me. We're always chilling and shit.
It was almost inevitable.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You know, we're always just chilling together and working on music, you know, and he's always like featuring on a lot of shit. So I was like, you know, let's just work on an album together.
Bringing him back. Bringing him back too, right? Bringing him back like kind of alive, right? Bringing him back
dude. You know, just like, you know, just might as well keep this shit going. You know, he's been on a good road with this shit already. You know, and his bars are dope. So I was like, you know, just do this shit. You know.
He ain't new to the game.
And he's been writing for a long.
He's like not new. Like exactly, he's not. He's been writing.
Yeah,
for a
he's
while.
way more experienced than me. Than like as far as rapping and shit like that. You know. As far as lyrics wise, I'm pretty sure we've both been doing this shit for a while. I mean, I've been writing lyrics since I was in 8th grade, you know, with my band and shit like that. But as far as rapping, like, I used to rap back in the day with the homie, you know, like little freestyles and recording. Like,
everyone does
songs,
that shit, though. You know what I mean?
It was nothing serious though, you know, but it kind of started like in those days, you know, but it kind of just evolved into some like more crazier shit now, you know. But
because you got it in you.
Yeah, because I got it more in me now and shit like that. But yeah, basically it's just I think it's about a 13-track project, and all of them pretty much synthesizer tracks, and most of for some weird reason, dude, I'm pretty much just starting off all the tracks, dude, except for I think Rudy probably started off Gray Air and shit. He started off a few of the songs.
Yeah, that shit comes out so natural, Rudy. I mean, I'm not tripping, you know, it is what it is, man. I mean, that's the name.
He started off a few songs and shit, you know, and we got a couple of dope features on there. We got some homies from the 5-7 Music, you know, we got Kataya, and then we got fucking the homie Arson Fist from...
Yeah, that cat is dope. I've never met him in person. He's dope, man. He's heavy.
Yeah, he's super dope. So we got him on there.
Dank?
We got Dank.
Dank has reached out a lot, man. Tell him about Dank. Tell him a little about
He knows about Dank.
Yeah,
Jay does,
bro.
Yeah.
Man, he's really been blessing us and giving us the time of day, dog. So
you got that backup. You got that backup.
We got some heavy hitters. Yeah.
You know, he's been helping us with that, contributing bars and shit. And then we have Jay Lexa, which is like our singer. He's been, you know, lacing some sick ass hooks and shit, you know, and yeah, man, he's been just helping the process, you know, and creating the music and shit, and you know, it's pretty much almost a rap.
Yeah, and it's not corny, you know what I mean? When you have somebody who comes with an R&B background, you know, and then they want to rap, or they decided, or maybe it might have been the other way around. They used to rap and then started singing, or whatever it may be. But the case being is that, you know, he's got bars, he messes with it. You know, he's not afraid to get creative,
right,
and kind of move away from, be singing, because I'm sure that's different. I can't sing. I don't think I've tried or maybe attempted to on a record yet, but that's awesome. That's awesome that he could do that. He's talented. He's been helping out lately.
You guys feeding off each other when you guys working together right now?
You know what's crazy is that me and Trans, we're the only two really that kind of take the time to really do this. Just sit here and just build. Just build, again, live. And what I mean by that is go hang out. Just be homies, you know what I mean? Go hang out, see life a little bit, go out and eat, go spend time at the beach, kind of clear your head and focus, and then come back out here and just really put some concepts together, communicate, kind of vibe off that. And I think that's very important, because a lot of other guys, I know they come in here and they do their time, which, for example, Lexo, shout out to Lexo, shout out to Benny. Benny's been killing it too, 3D. They do they go out and live too, they go to work, they do what they gotta do, but when they come here, they kill it. As far as, again, interaction wise, though, it's me and Trans, and that helps out a lot, I feel like. Right. So, to answer your question, that's a different thing, man. It's a different vibe, different theme, with everyone kind of going through different schedules and trying to get together. Right. But it's worked, and I think that's really what my point was, is that it's worked. Somehow the chemistry continues to just build and evolve. It's not boring. You haven't had one track yet where you're like, damn, this one really sucked. You might throw in your 2 cents here and there. You're like, oh, you could have came harder. Right. Because you still have to be your own worst critic, and not only about you, but about who you're fucking with.
Sure.
Because you want them to be better too.
Yeah. I feel that you probably really respect Transformer's work. You know what I mean? That's what I see. You working hard.
Work ethics and shit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like you're not gonna waste his time. You know what I mean? I feel like every producer or every artist should respect the producer's time.
The producer's time, yeah. And that's kind of hard to. I actually, I think that's the first time I've ever heard that, but I've always known that somewhere in the back of my mind. I've been conscious about it, and it does make sense. It does make sense, because not only is he producing, but he also has a vision, because he can write to it now.
Right.
So he's on it a lot quicker, and he'll send me some tracks at a time, like 4 or 5 at a time. And I'll come back with them, and I'll drop 3, and I'll get them done when I'm out and about. But he's very persistent right now. Right. He's consistent. His beats keep coming out, and they're banging.
2 dope boys be fucking, putting them up.
Yeah, man. We just keep trying to do it, man. The rapping is still fucking new, and still just learning.
Play one of the records with Lex.
Well, he'll probably put it on the edits. He'll probably throw a track on there.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, you can do it?
Yeah, he'll do it like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to show them to you anyhow. When this interview is over, we'll go through the Sawi. You can just vibe out and listen to it. I think it'd be good to get a little bit of perspective from him. Just because it's been so long since you heard anything from me, but you've been consistent maybe with Transformers work.
We stopped putting it up on SoundCloud, right, for a little bit? Mm-hmm. You just pretty much stopped that.
Actually,
SoundCloud? You still putting up there?
I still put music on there.
Hey, you know what's so crazy is I spent 30 minutes on SoundCloud earlier.
It came back in a way, right?
Yeah. I spent 30 minutes. Well, I agree.
Right.
I agree, because it's in conversations mostly from other artists right now who are now starting to get hot. They talk about how their startup with SoundCloud was basically their fan base. That's how
Lil and Young
it built them a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And I that shit was popping way more back in the day.
No, it was. It must have been even.
There was a lot more comments on the fucking on the thing, dude, this shit's dope, blah blah blah. And I was like, you ain't getting no comments on shit. And I was like, not even even the dope ass fools anymore. It's it's just people used to interact more on SoundCloud, bro. But a lot of people are still on there for some fucking crazy reason. People are still on there. There's a lot of artists I feel on there. A lot of artists uploading music. I don't know about, maybe there's a lot of listeners. There probably is, but I feel like
there has to be. That's
they're just probably not. They're not interacting. As much with. There's dope artists that I see, not just myself, but I see a lot of dope, homies that are on SoundCloud and or just dope artists, that just don't have no comments on them. It's
interacting is more.
Yeah, even on beats, it was more popular. I feel on beats, instrumentals, and people would be like, "Oh, this is dope," but
back when Ray Fittis was, dropping beats. Is he starting beats?
Who?
Ray Fittis?
Ray Fittis? Oh, Ramon?
Ramon, yeah.
Oh man,
that's why I'm around SoundCloud. So I started following him. So man,
he's got a baby girl.
He's sampling, yeah.
He's got a baby girl. As far as his music, I don't really know. I haven't seen him in a couple.
I just see you guys and I picture that era too. You know what I mean? Because you guys were doing that shit too. All you.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
He was definitely part of my background. Right. I mean, he's a friend of ours, mutual friend of all 3 of us, really. Right. So yeah, he was definitely a crucial point in my growth as a
flipping records
like
and all
writing,
that
just,
shit.
or just
Like,
watching them. Yeah, 'cause I don't really flip records. You know what I mean? I only like to rap. I only like to write. But it was cool to watch his process with Isaac too, Honey Brown. You know, these are guys that we all know, and they have this talent. You know.
But what I'm saying is also too is that Transformer kept it going. You know,
He most definitely kept the momentum.
Not a lot of people do that, man. You know what I mean? Like, it takes fucking time, pressure, and fucking ability to fucking do that. Like,
yeah, it's because a lot of people fucking give a fuck about what people think, man. Like, you know, just I don't give a fuck, really, honestly, bro. Just like I know there's probably a lot of people.
You can tell. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's probably gonna be a lot of people out there be like, "Oh man, why is Transformer rapping? Like, what the fuck? You know, like he's not doing justice over his beats or whatever." Like, I could really fucking care less. You know, honestly, like I've had homies try to tell me like, "Yeah, bro, but you're not scared of like losing your fans, like the ones you've had, or like, you know, that respect like your shit that you've done with certain MCs and shit like that." I'm like, "Not really, bro, because I mean, it never was for them. You know, what I'm saying it was always for myself. You know." And if I do have fans, then they should fucking know, like, that maybe they don't know, but, but it just, they just need to know that I've been doing this shit for myself the whole time. And yeah, there's probably been times that I've done shit for, like, others, like, trying to, like, like, oh, this is a good sound what people are listening to, so I'll give you something, like, for the people to actually enjoy. But then it's like, after that, it's like, I'm going back to what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I heard Mitchie Slick saying some shit like that. It's like, I'm tired of making shit for you guys, like, for the people. It's like, like, I'm just making music strictly for my fans now, like people that that like my music and not like, you know what I mean. He's not like trying to fucking make new shit for new or make he's just not gonna make shit for the people or what they want. It's just all gonna be what he wants to make and shit. And there comes times where you got to do that, start making music for like for the people and shit. But mostly it's for yourself, or at least for me it is. So. You know, there's been some crazy ass fan on fucking Facebook too. That shit was funny as hell because he was like, yeah, bro, like he's like, you know, I don't really like your albums are really dope, man. Just that last album, you know, like I'm not really feeling those rappers, bro. And it was probably like a project of like, you know, maybe mine, like, you know, like that's probably like if anything, maybe it was me and the homies rapping like some third eye shit. Like, I'm sorry, dude, like, you know, like whatever. If you don't like it, fuck it. Then he's like, you think you go back to some of your old shit, you know? And I'm just like. I was like, dude, I'm like, bro,
that's
sorry.
That's crazy that somebody like told him that.
You know, and it's just
that's
like,
a fan, you know?
Right.
That's crazy.
And it's just like a fan just saying straight what he felt. And I was kind of offended, dude. But then I was like, you know, like, fuck you, dude. Like, I was like, you know, I'm not making music for you, bro. This is for me, man. So, you know, you just got to wait, you know, and wait and see when that next drop is that you might like, you know? It's like, you know, it's like, I don't know, bro. It's just crazy, you know. It's just like, yeah, you might like the other shit, like where I do shit with other rappers that are like, you know, dope, like crazy known, like fucking Blame One or Blue or, you know, all these other dope ass cats that got fucking dope ass names and been rapping for a long time. So like, oh, that's fucking crazy bars. Like, this shit's dope, you know. Like, we're used to that shit, you know. So then, you know, we come across with some new shit. We're just like, you know, we're just barely like, you know, trying to get on some shit. Like, Rudy's been doing it, but he's still like, you know, like taking shit more serious and shit, you know.
Right.
And for me, I'm just like I'm taking shit serious, but I'm still learning at the same time. And you know, sometimes I see people deleting old shit, you know, like the old albums, because they don't want people to see like, you know, where they were like 5 years ago, you know. And I seen that, and I'm like, it's like people. I want to see how people like, you know, I've been like that too, but I was like, people need to see how you evolve as a rapper, like to like the growth of it, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of see that. You know how I was saying it, but
it's work, man. I mean, because you're putting in the work.
It's
like,
just
behind the scenes. It's actual fucking work.
And you know, and you know, maybe if I was like, I don't know, bro. Maybe if I gave a fuck more, maybe I don't know. Maybe I cared less about fucking up my I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's very strange, bro. Because you know, some people will be very picky about just dropping shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna start rapping now. Like, some people will be picky about that. Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not trying to fuck up my, you know, my. Like of where I am, you know, like I might turn off certain people and they might like, okay, might get turned off and start not even listening to my music anymore and shit, you know. I'm like, and some people are worried about that, and it's like, I could really give a fuck if I gain a new fan every day, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I do, I do. Like, if I don't, I don't. You know?
Send it back to
it's kind of how it is, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm serious in certain areas, you know, like I'm serious. Like, I don't know, bro. You know, I'm serious in certain categories of this music shit, you know. But sometimes it just like, you know, it's I don't know, man. Just sometimes I just try not to think of it, you know, as like a crazy thing sometimes, because I don't know, I just don't want to fucking disappoint myself, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I just keep it simple, you know, and which was just to, you know, keep my sanity together and just express myself. So that's basically what it's for, man. Because when you start getting to this other shit, that's when you start like wanting to quit music, you know. So
it's your therapy, man. That's your fucking therapy, you know? Man.
So. But other than that, dude, like, you know, I've been just having fun and just doing this shit with Gray Era, you know. We got dope features, and, you know, we'll see if it comes out on 5-7 Music, you know, and if it does, you know, they'll be helping out with the push and shit like that, and, yeah, man, they'll be pretty dope. 13 tracks, probably, you know, get it mastered pretty soon. We'll probably be mastering that like in the next 2 weeks or something like that.
You send it out to get mastered?
Yeah, to homie Tenacity. He'll be doing all the mastering.
Yeah, the mastering definitely makes a difference because we're working with what we got.
Yeah, everything is, you know, we're just rough mixes and shit like that. But he really does, you know, a good job, because I mean the foundation of where we're starting from is not bad. You know, I got, you know, J57 told me, but you know, this compressor to buy. I've been on that shit since he told me about that, and that shit's been giving pretty cool quality. So. You know, I'm pretty proud of, you know, how what it sounded like when it comes out of here. You know, it's pretty decent. You know, you get enough for right now.
Learning different ways to do it.
Yeah, like a lot of different ways and shit. But you know, pretty happy with the outcome of what it's been sounding like, though.
Right.
Pretty dope, man.
What's the goal for all this?
You know, there is no goal, bro. Nah, just kidding. Like, you know, that's what I'm saying.
That's a really good question.
You know, there's no. I mean, there's no there's like no major goal, bro. Honestly, dude, the goal is just to put this music out into the fucking, to the, you know, to the masses, to the fucking, to the world, you know, like, you know, to the universe, you know, just to, you know, it's like, I just want to put music away into the fucking universe and lock it away. Like, once you put shit out in the world, it's always gonna be there and shit, you know. So it's just good to have stuff out there, bro. You know, like, that's my goal, is just to get this project done and completed, and put that shit on the internet, and that's pretty much like my goal from there. It's like I completed a good project. enough to where people could hear it, you know, and that's pretty much like the main goal is to get it done and just, you know, let people hear it. And then not that easy, but you know, kind of just like, you know, just chill on that. Just work on that project, get that shit done, you know, get some visuals done for sure. You know, definitely got to get some visuals done because that's gonna, I feel like,
like a video.
Yeah, like like a video, and get the visuals for the projects. You know, like give people an idea of, you know, people always get a better idea when they see the visuals with the lyrics and shit. You know, like they can, oh, okay, this is what these dudes are about. You know, like maybe the style of, you know, what you bring, you know, like goes with the lyrics. Or like
the image will help personalize somebody with Transformer. You know, and eventually that'll lead to, you know, whatever chain reaction.
Plus, people trip out, you know, on the image of who we are. You know, we're just like, you know, I'm over here like just tatted up. You know, you're not sure if I'm like a punk rocker or like, you know, I'm a hip hop dude. I'm just like, you know,
from
what
like
the fuck?
The first time view yourself.
Yeah, you know,
like if I didn't know you.
Yeah, like you just don't know like what the fuck, or am I a tattoo artist, or like, you know, just kind of, you know. And then like I start rapping, you're like, okay, he's Mexican. What the fuck, you know? He's Mexican. Well, both of these dudes are Mexican, but they're not really fucking rapping like on some Chicano rap, you know. Like it's more on some.
Yeah,
more,
being
like,
a Mexican rapper is interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting because you really can't get away from your fucking like your fucking your accent. You know, you sound like a Mexican, and I no disrespect on being one and shit like that, but I just never was a fan of that type of sound, you know. And so I never want to, you know, have that sound when I rap.
Well, it's
a
different style for a different demographic. You know?
Exactly,
I mean, we're talking about, you know, gang banging music. You know what I mean? That obviously is associated with different things. You know, that comes with a lot of different things. And then you're thinking somebody like Tranzformer comes out and he's dropping these records, and you dig into him and you're like, okay, well, he's Mexican. First thing you're gonna ask is, you know, he's Mexican, or just maybe based off hearing his voice, his vocals, and that alone is already gonna tag him with or associate him with some type of background, or maybe even just a style. So I think that's different, but giving his audience somebody to put a face to, right, so to speak, like it helps out a lot. And that's something those are assets that have been used in the best way possible up until now. You know, I've got I can offer something to him. I think at some point that can be most like beneficial as far as a marketing campaign goes, and that's really too also something that I want to add to
promo.
You know, promotion, marketing. You know, the stuff that really is gonna again allow him to create a fan base, because he has one already. But you know what's so crazy and I salute him for this, not only personally as somebody who spends time with him, but as a friend. I've seen him. I've watched him grow. He's done this all really off very minimal promotion. I mean, because I see a lot of what he's doing. You know, a lot of his movements. That's how much time I spend with him, and it's I don't have any other word than just I applaud him for it. You know, he does this off really almost no marketing, just with the tools that he has and the opportunities that he's been given. You know, and everything.
Yourself, right? You do yourself, right? For the most part.
Most of the time, yeah. You know, and that's crazy. That's so crazy to me, because it's so easy to go out and get somebody to try to promote something for you now, because it's. I mean, hey, let's face it. You know, it's marketing. It really is. You need that marketing angle to be someone that is going to be in the same circulation as all these other names that are outdoing you, because they're just simply investing into what they're trying to sell, a brand ultimately.
And it's so easy but so hard at the same time.
It is. Well, the golden era, as we know it, of being able to solely just create a buzz off your music, you know, it's kind of gone in a way, just with not only with the accessibility and standard of what we've come to expect of being able to download a record. Like, I can go on YouTube right now and listen to something he did 5 years ago, you know? Like, it's just so accessible to us now that getting a record deal or getting a recognition other than just word of mouth solely off no marketing, you know? But again, you've achieved it, and that's pretty fucking awesome.
It's the, you know, back after one another, you know what I mean? Record after record.
Yeah,
I mean, that's, you know, that's what it is, you know?
It's so crazy, but yeah, he definitely has a catalog. I mean, you look at anybody else me personally, in my opinion, I'm only solely speaking for myself, that, you know, from the city that we come from, the people who have pioneered it in a way, you know, we've got Undersea, who did great things. You got Kaz One, who we actually just listened to today with the record.
See, but those names don't come to mind to me anymore. That's the fucked up part.
But why? Because it's circulated out of that. I mean, that I hold it almost like on a mantle of most definitely some people who to me were great, man. They were very creative.
For your influence.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, Kaz lived down the street from me, right?
He's really dope, man. He's done like shit with fucking Danny Brown like a couple years back, like before Danny Brown even fucking blew up, dude. Like
I didn't even know about
that.
Danny
Was
Brown
pretty crazy, man. And like,
pretty
you
dope.
know, he's chopped it up. I heard that he's chopped it up with like Madlib and like he's gotten his foot up in the door, man. Just like it is from what other people tell me. He just I don't know. I don't know what his situation is or why his name's not out there like it should be, but
it's like a promo. I mean,
but again, it's promotion, man. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
He's just doing it for himself.
Yeah, maybe who knows what it is? Maybe other things are more important. Maybe it was like just a hobby, or I know he loved doing it, but maybe he just other things are more important, like maybe getting money to live. I don't know. Who knows? Like,
which is living life, I think. Because me personally, I live with Kaz for almost. I want to say almost 8 months, really. I mean, that was a short-lived experience, but we lived together. Shout out to him too, because he actually gave me somewhere to sleep. He gave me a bed at one point. Yeah. But we slept. We lived in the same spot, and he lived with people that I knew. And Kaz, he had a solid routine, man. That cat is very interesting. He's a great artist, dude. His routine was interesting to watch. Right. From him going to work and then coming, zoning out, and out of nowhere just creating some fucking classic shit.
Always in that good mood.
Yeah, man, very positive guy. Yeah. And definitely gave me some laughs. He's a character. I remember, throwing out fucking varial flips with them when we were skateboarding. When he was, Gustavo Camacho, Joey, I don't remember his last name. And then Kaz, Naomi Aguirre's brother, I can't remember his name either, but, we were out there skateboarding, and I didn't know that he was that talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure. I remember we went to the same elementary school. It was Martin Luther King. Are you familiar with that? It's right there off of 18th Street. Right. By where Mondo used to live at.
Oh, Villa?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 17th and Villa. Yeah, 17th and Villa. I was in 6th grade, or maybe even in 3rd grade. Well, Kaz was older than me, so he must have been in 6th, and I was like in 3rd or 4th grade. And I remember overhearing a teacher make a comment complimenting Kaz's work. He did it was a talent show for school, and he addressed, I think it was like a letter to the president or something like that, or to like just speaking out against things that we were seeing, at least that was prominent in our city, or that section of the city, and I guess he got really good compliments off that, And I remember thinking, like, I don't even know this guy. Real shit. I didn't know who he was until much later. Yeah. Skateboarding brought us together. That's how I met Kaz, through Nick Keenis. You remember Nick?
Keenis, his neighbor.
Yeah. A.K.A. Flip. I don't really know what he goes by now, but when he first started off writing,
he's doing some music shit out here too, though, right?
It's been a while, man. He did something with him. He has it in the crate somewhere.
Yeah, we had done some beats back.
But they definitely worked together. Nick, I haven't seen him since we spent like a 4th of July weekend together, or a Memorial Day weekend, one of those. And he came out over to my crib. Mark did too.
Yeah.
Los, Albert, Joseph, we all kicked it in, went out to the beach, had a great time. I don't really know what he's up to. Jacob isn't making any beats anymore.
Right, 2018, the name that comes to my mind is Tranzformer from the Valley. Like, me asking who's cracking from the Valley, I say Tranzformer. Somebody asked me it's Tranzformer.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm familiar with, and I actually went back that 30 minutes I spent on SoundCloud that I talked about earlier. I spent 30 minutes listening to artists from El Centro. Just because I'd been out of it for so long.
Right. There's a few out there.
There's plenty.
Yeah.
There's plenty. I spent, a half hour scouting, basically, just listening to different artists, and it's crazy. I listened to some of PL's new shit. I listened to Dutch's, Droopy, Minded, No Luck. You remember all these guys, D-Stats, Babyface, all Big Mane, all these other guys that were kind of prominent in that era. Magnum, I even listened to some of Magnum shit, right? Yeah, Magnum. I saw Rugged on there, but I didn't go through him. Picasso, those guys. I didn't really listen to him back then. We were supposed to get around to some work, but it never happened. I was doing a lot of work with, Borderline and anybody that was attached to him, the background that I had with Nadeem. I mean, he basically kind of helped me out. Jay Samples, you remember Jay Samples, right? He was also part of Borderline. He's doing his thing with photography now back home. So shout out to him. Hopefully we can work on a video sometime. He could produce one for us. That'd be awesome. But yeah, dude, I think Tranzformer most definitely can carry the torch right now. He just has to stay focused, you know, and he's been proving that over and over and over. So if he can continue to give that energy and that consistency to his craft, he really, I think you could achieve something, brother. You know what I mean? You got some talent. The beats are there. You know, you've inspired me to be able to write again and feel comfortable and really be able to tell a story, I guess. You know, 'cause, again, I don't have a solo project. And a solo project is coming. You know, I don't know what it's going to be called. Actually, years ago, I wrote down a track listing of exactly that. You know, I've always felt, let me tell you this, I've always felt that an album should really, a classic album, you know, because if I only drop one, that's okay with me. But as long as that one album, I can look back, you know, 15 years from now and really say, like, this is classic. And I think that's why I never felt comfortable with being able to drop a solo project, because I held it at a standard. I felt when you finally put an album together, it was really your best work, you know? And as a writer, it almost seems like that day's never going to come, simply because you critique yourself a lot.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing, man. It's like, it's gonna take fucking years to. I don't know, man. Like to make.
That's exactly.
Like that's like not my goal to make classics, dude. Like my like other people have different goals, and I'm sure they achieve them. You know what I'm saying? But like,
I hope I do shit. I want to drop a classic.
My goal is not to make a classic. My goal is just to make, you know, like good music. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I think it's good music, then then I think it's good music. You know, not like for everybody else, but my opinion. Okay, it's good music. It's cool. You know, and like
well, you're content with it.
Yeah,
right? You're okay.
I'm content with it.
You know?
You know, like it might not be a classic, but it was hard work, and I'm cool with that. You know, like if the album wasn't like, you know, a classic, but there was a lot of hard work into it, like I can appreciate it and be like, you know, that's cool, and on to the next one. You know, like, and there's gonna be a lot of those albums that you said, like it wasn't like a crazy ass classic project, but it was a solid, like it was a cool project, you know, and there was a lot of hard work that went into it, you know. And I feel like that's kind of my mind state on shit. It's like I'm just trying to make shit that, you know, I think is good personally, that I think it's dope, and you know, and yeah, dude, just, you know, I'm sure maybe that project that I thought was just like, it wasn't all crazy dope, but it was decent. I thought it was cool. A lot of hard work went into it. I might think it was just like, all right, but maybe someone else might think it's a classic. You know, like it's kind of hard to think that, you know, oh, this is all just classic shit. You know, unless like, I don't know who the fuck thinks like that, dude. Like, I never been like, man, this is I've been like, no, this is a dope track, you know, but I'm not like, oh, this is a classic, or like, I feel like that probably with other songs though, you know, like with other artists spitting over my shit, but for me and myself to criticize myself like that, or be like, yeah, I think we have a classic. I don't know, man. It's just a tricky subject for me, dude. Like, you know, like.
That's not what you're going for.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I am, but I'm in my head. I'm thinking like it's
maybe when it's the right time, you'll feel it. You know what I mean? Right. Maybe when it's the right time, you'll feel it. You'll be like, okay, this is the one that I'm really gonna go 100%. Not to say that you don't, but I feel with a lot of projects that you do come, you obviously feel that he's coming from somewhere. It's hard.
It's like one of my homies told me, he's like, bro, like, what song do you not like from yourself and shit, you know? And it's like, well.
And you know what's crazy? You know how crazy I critique myself? Like, real shit, every time we finish a record and he tell me, he'll give me, you know, I'll run it through in 1 or 2 takes, right? And not bragging, not on some dumb shit, but real shit, just 1 or 2 takes. And he'll be like, yeah, you know, and I'll be like, nah, I don't like it. Let me do it over or something. You know, he'll be like, nah, you killed it. That shit sounds dope. You know, that's crazy. You know, because he's so used to knocking shit out. And he keeps inspiring that. And with all that practice for me, and all that effort that he's putting into continuing this momentum of just continuing to put his vision out there creatively, is really catapulting me into a position now where I want to drop something for myself. You know, finally put a great era album out.
Something that you actually, you know,
I think I'm gonna
hold in, you know, like,
yeah, that I'm gonna be able to take in and be comfortable with it. And again, it might not be a classic, because you're so right. I mean, I've been thinking about this for years. So, you know, put it like this: I started writing in 01. Didn't start taking it seriously until about 03. You know, and that was with Froilan, Freud, and Nadine that really kind of helped me hone in who I wanted to be as far as how I wanted to express myself lyrically.
I thought you were gonna make a comeback with
Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that
little,
like, you know, you had a collective right there. I was like, oh man,
dude,
this
Marco,
little team right there. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, very many blessings to that man right there. Marco's a good dude. Dro accepted me, embraced me almost immediately, and it was crazy. The first record we did was called Legal Tender. You can find it on YouTube. It's a gem because you listen to it. It still has like 600, maybe 500
It's a dope
views.
track.
But it's a hard record. You remember it?
Yeah.
And I actually there's an artist at the time that he worked with was called Sash B, from New York. I'm not exactly sure where, but he reminds me a lot of like a Cameron and Nas type style, but really kind of like mostly Harlem, where it's like flashy and confident and I don't know. It's weird, man. I forgot where he's from, but that cat is fucking talented, and he rocked one of his old records, and that made me a fan. But anyhow, I sent him this Legal Tender record, right? I said, hey, look, check this out. Yeah, he gave me props on that, and that really made my day.
Yeah,
because I really look up to this dude and what he brings to the table, and he said, damn, he went off on that.
Well produced that song, at least.
I don't even remember. I remember Hector and I can't remember the other boy's name, but they had Snails Inc. Do you remember those guys?
Right.
They still rep that tour, but the other dudes in there. But they were skating. They were in that skating community where we knew each other through skateboarding, and they hooked it up, and they really brought something to the table. I think it's the first time I've seen anybody in the valley other than Minded who took their mixing seriously, where they actually spent time and made sure that shit was popping out and sounded correctly and all that. And they did a Fountain of Youth for us. You remember the Fountain of Youth record? Stally had it from Maybach Music Group, but it was a dope instrumental, so we took it and we made our own version, me and Dro. And they mixed that record for us. Not nothing crazy, but it's just the fact that they brought the vocals out, and I could tell that, I've had enough experience where I can tell how it sounds, and what sticks and what needs more, but I kind of just sit in the driver's or in the passenger seat and let them do what it is, but they really impressed me with their skill, and that really brought the Avengers together. We dropped the Gotham City Knights project, which actually was fucking crazy. No, let me tell you how much love I got for these guys real quick. They embraced me, right? Like, I didn't really fuck with any of them like that before that, and I couldn't even tell you how we met. I want to say Marco, maybe. But Marco, really embraced me with arms wide open. He still asked about my mom, my dad. When his mom and his dad were having health issues too, we kept in touch. And, we fucked around and joked around one time and said we had a 5-year plan. And I think that's the first time outside of Third Block, when I was fucking with Third Block for a while, where a 5-year plan seemed possible. In other words, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get here and we're going to push this music. And the reason why we felt that way was because of Gotham City Nights. That project was dope. It really brought out, it was weird, but the chemistry between me and Joe just hit it off. And Marco just embracing us and kind of pushing it. They went out and printed the copies full. Yeah, like I didn't even know. I remember just seeing it.
Yeah. No, physical copies?
I think it might have 50, 25. I don't really know the number. Right. But whoever in El Centro right now has that project, that's dope. And let me get that, because I don't even have it myself. That project was fucking dope, man, and it's circulating out there somewhere.
I'll put it on Bandcamp or something.
I know it's on Bandcamp, yeah, because I listened to it like 4 years ago or something like that. But my most favorite records on it they're available on YouTube, and that's where I go and reminisce when I want to think about that, because I didn't like that stage in my evolution with my wordplay mostly. It really allowed me to be more flexible, where I kind of was able to break out of character, so to speak.
Right.
And it really helped me get more creative. And now we'll listen to those records we did this morning or this afternoon. And he told me, I like your style more now. You sound even more confident, which is crazy, because I thought I was way more confident then. You feel me? But he tells me you're way more confident. You sound better. Your vocals are better. And I used to kind of want to have a raspy approach to it, just because I got the emotional point I wanted to get across by emphasizing certain words with certain
right.
He toned it down for me. He just told me spit it like this, and now I'm just spitting into my normal voice as I'm speaking to you right now.
All right.
And that's different.
Yeah.
It's different from hearing myself from an animated version to just being yourself, I guess. You know what I mean? Vocally. Without really...
You've always had a lot of things to say, though. You've always had a lot of things to, express yourself in a different way.
Yeah,
than everybody else. You always had that. You can't I can't even
kind of multi-personality.
I can't even do the cadence, but you just had that. Yeah. You just had that fast flow. Personality fast. I mean, it's quicker than usual.
It's quicker. Now it's slowed down incredibly. Yeah, it's slowed down so much. We have here. Let me pull this up real quick. We have This record we did this record a couple of months ago. So this is me right here.
Oh, man. Hey, yo,
So this is the first time you hear me in a minute.
We're on another motherfucking classic, dawg.
That's me right there.
Here we go again. I'm in the fire zone, pushing what is necessary on another load. Hey, there's much to us you can't see. I've been grinding, running down my mileage, consistent with the stylish and marinated tropics. Looking down my watch like, I don't know the time is. It's mornings and way past my calling for the sources that swarm in my DNA on meditated losses. Got a baby on the way and I just hit the 30 mark. I do intend to be a father, do my duty, play my part. And any sucker trying to pull my card is being shipped abroad. And that ain't no tough guy talk. I lay the law for the God that I seek in my heart, withdrawing tall. Cause these days nothing's too safe, you play or pray. Thoughts all up in my head, switching the lane. Hoping that I'm rested as Sunday catching a wave on a sunset view, and I'm probably misunderstood. But there's good in my soul.
Heavy, yeah.
Got plenty.
That's clean. It still got that Rudy voice, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you hear it though?
yeah, yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
And Tranz is able to bring that out in his records, man. It's
Right.
crazy for me.
Let's bring it out of you and bring, you know? Nice.
It's different, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's cool. It's cool coming through, chopping it up with you guys. And I mean, it's really cool. I just want to, you know, catch up.
Catch up a little bit.
Yeah,
We're gonna
catch
have
up.
to do this a
You
little
know
bit
what
more
I
often.
mean? I want to catch up Tranzformer. You know, see you guys. So for me myself, I'm trying to get as much interviews, you know what I mean, as I can. You know, I'm trying to like, you know, put my work out there. You know what I mean? They say.
What do you got right now as
What
far
I
as I mean, because you said you've been doing this now for quite a couple of years, right?
Right.
And what? Who are you working with? Excuse me.
As far as the team and shit?
No, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, do you have a
Just
team?
myself, man. It's
Damn.
all myself. You know what I mean? It's all
We
myself.
need to link
You
up.
know, Mark will try to do the logo, and then you know, he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? And
Mark's very busy.
yeah, he's
You
very
can tell
busy.
he's very
Exactly.
busy.
So I'm just like, all right, you know.
And
But it's all interviews. It's all, like I said, it's all field work for myself.
yeah.
It's a lot
Well,
of-
it's all love, man. I appreciate
It's
you.
a lot of
everyone.
field work. So I mean, that's what I want to, you know, I want to come out through and see for myself. You know what I mean? I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm out here. You guys are out here. So I'm gonna reach out, see if I can do this.
Now that we live closer to one another, we
Yeah,
gotta link up more, man.
definitely.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing to see you, dog.
Oh yeah, well, Transformer's about to head out. Transformer's out right now,
That
and
was dope, man.
appreciate
Thanks for coming by,
appreciate you
bro.
chopping it up with me. You know what I
Dope
mean?
shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Hell
Check
yeah,
out.
man.
You want to plug anything? Plug anything before we
Yo, man.
drop this? You know what I mean?
Well, just glad you interviewed us around this time, man, because this was perfect time because we're about to drop this little record, man. So it was good that you came by just to, you know, get some you know, shit off our chest, you know, about what the project's gonna sound like, you know.
We got plenty off. You probably have like an hour worth of material now.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, dude, just glad you came by, bro, because we had a lot of shit to just, you know, talk about the album. So, you know, a lot of dope features. Just stay tuned, man. We got a decent little project coming out that, you know, I hope everyone could enjoy and shit. You know, different styles, definitely a different style from what we were cooking up in the past and shit. You know, it's similar, you know, but we're just evolving, you know, as far as lyrics and subjects and fucking different beats, you know. And as far as, you know, the production that, you know, I've been doing lately is just you know, a little more trappy and shit, you know. And it's a little more, it's always spacey and shit, but it's very, you know, a couple of tracks that are kind of trappy, you know.
Yeah, Spacey sounds dope. I
Not
like
so mainstream trap sound, but, you know, it's kind of just on some raw gutter trap shit, you know, with some 808s and shit like that. So hopefully people enjoy, and, you know, we'll shoot you some shit, you know,
Yeah.
afterwards. And
Glad you came back.
yeah,
Glad you
man.
came back. Glad we caught up. That's what I wanted for the podcast. Like, not just a one-time thing. Like, you know, that's gonna be.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's me. You know,
Yeah,
learning,
we could follow the
you know,
project
everything,
through, man.
you know,
That'd be
just
great.
See what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Fuck
man.
yeah. Appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah,
I
really
personally
appreciate
want
it,
to thank you for coming through, doggy.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate that. Shout out to anybody that's being supportive to just, you know, the I can't even think of a word without sounding cliche, but just the momentum that we're trying to build with this, you know, and to all these other cats out there, man, that are also still doing their thing, and, you know, hopefully we get a chance to collab. There's a lot of people right now making waves, at least here in San Diego, that I'm now familiar with because of the circles we're in, and
Right.
it'd be cool to work with a lot of these cats, man. So
can we find you?
Stick around for the journey.
Instagram, Twitter.
I'll probably get into that.
I got to plug that.
Yeah, you want to plug
you
that?
know, you can pretty much find Gray Area. I mean, he's told you his shit. You can find him on YouTube. You could let him know.
Old school shit though, like you're not gonna find anything of me because I've been low key, so I don't got nothing.
Anything if you want to hear bars from Rudy or Gray Area, you could always go to my Bandcamp, which is www.transformer.bandcamp.com, or you just go to my SoundCloud, What is it? www.soundcloud.transformer.com. That's the SoundCloud, so you just go over there and just, fucking Google fucking Coastal Chemistry from Transformer.
Oh, that's a hard
Yeah, he's on a lot of fucking features on there, dude. So it kind of give you like a rough, a little preview of what's to come from the new project, from our previous tracks that we've done and shit, So, I'll probably drop you some tracks from the previous project, want to give you something a little more fucking mastered, before.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like crap.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound whack. It makes it sound, masters always like,
They sound better.
I'm pretty whack as a rapper, so anything to make me sound better, so, I gotta put it on there with some mastering, bro. It always touches up. Like, people don't hear differences, but I'm fucking good with my ears, and I know music good, dude. So when my homie fucking Tenacity masters that shit and mixes it, it's like, it's really dope, like it's very satisfying to my ears,
and final product and shit,
I'm very, I'm always glad with I'm always happy with the outcome, and the money that I spend is perfect, like I never have no complaints.
His investment,
so
your investment has been way up, man. You really do put some money and time into your.
Got to, man. Like, I don't really put too much money into this shit. I mean, I do by like taking time off of work, and time is money, so I do it that way. But as far as spending money, it's always going towards mastering and shit. Probably start using some shit on product and shit like that. But other than that,
Transformer, man. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you guys.
Yeah, much love.
Dwelling on